Hey, Andre, for the longest time, all the best and the newest off-road trucks were Chevys. GMC kind of played, the luxury card.
The premium truck.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But now there's news because GMC has got that. What is that?
This is a world debut of the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X, which is already a premium off-roader. AEV edition, which is basically the Chevy Bison in GMC clothing.
Holy cannoli,
Yes.
Andre. So we now have a GMC truck that is first off the assembly line, that is the most off-road worthy GM
Full-size truck.
non-electric truck.
Truck.
That they build. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is fair.
All right, so in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into this monster vehicle. They gave us not one, not two, but 4 pictures.
We don't have video right now.
That we're going to analyze, and then we're going to talk about, obviously, what's under the hood. We're going to talk about, how much it cost. We don't know. I'm just already.
And also, there's something in here, Roman. That's very important.
That little hook. So let's start with this. So as we know, right, for the longest time, Chevy had the Colorado, mid-size truck, and then there was a Zr2 version, and then the top dog was the Bison.
Exactly.
Which was a partnership with AEV. Basically had these boron steel bumpers, skid plates, right, that made it more.
You can see some of them here.
And now we in the garage have the Chevy Silverado Zr2.
Yes, which is a new truck.
But this is the GMC version of the Zr2 taken to the extreme.
Exactly right. And so the AT4X just came out. We just tested it, right?
Yeah,
just
we had
a
it here.
months ago.
I drove it.
We had it here. I went to the launch event. It's a good truck. It's more premium. So the interior is more premium than the Zr2 Silverado. It has more high-tech features, massaging seats, Roman, in the AT4X. But now, like you said, they're actually using AEV, which is American Expedition Vehicles, which is a standalone company, but they're working with GM on these trucks.
Oh, tiny AEV logo right there. Yeah.
Should I zoom in?
Yeah, there you go. Little AEV logo. There
Aha!
You go. Aha!
Aha!
And so what makes this unique, obviously, is not only does it have skid plates, not only I saw, of course, the Multimatic DSSV shocks.
Yes.
I also saw rock rails when you zoom out.
Yep.
But the most interesting thing, like you pointed out, Andre, is a winch.
Yes.
From the factory.
Yes. And so unique bumpers, right? These are AEV pieces. It's winch ready. And well, this one has the additional winch that's installed right there, which is currently no full-size half-ton truck. I mean, the Power Wagon has a winch, which is a heavy duty. Now the Tremor Super Duty has a winch. But as far as the half-ton trucks are concerned, this is the first factory truck with a winch.
The Bronco Everglades has a winch, but that's not a truck.
No, and it's smaller.
All right. So do we have a picture of the rear? Let's see what the back looks like.
Yeah.
Does it get the fancy tailgate?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So just a couple more things.
Sure.
You could see some of the. So what is boron steel, Roman? Is it just boring?
I think boron steel is a marketing term for steel that can take on a pointy rock.
Exactly. Well, that's the technology that AEV actually developed. It's thin. It's about 3 millimeters thick. It's very strong, and it's hot stamped. So it's a different alloy of steel, and it also resists bending. So even if you hit this rock, for example, and the rock goes into the plate, it'll bounce back. I mean, it's that strong.
All right, let's see the back of this truck.
So let's
go to the next picture.
take a look here. I have another picture of the tires and the wheels.
Yeah, so the tires, they look very familiar. If you've got a ZR2, those are Wrangler Goodyears, Wrangler Territory MTs, and they're the same ones that are on our...
And they're 33s.
Yeah, so ZR2 has 33s as well.
Yes.
I would have loved to have seen 35s, but GM has a weird thing about going bigger. Or doesn't. They have a Raptor 37, but GM does. I do love those wheels. That's a really cool design.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an AEV style.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different style. And they call it Salta.
And there's the AEV logo.
And by the way, like you said, rock rails are here, right? Which is an accessory that you can put on a ZR2 or an AT4.
All right, let's see the back end of this bad boy.
There it is.
So you do get the Pro tailgate.
Yep, multi-folding tailgate, and also the new bumper. So once again, beefy AEV bumper with tow points, right? So additional points for towing.
I like how they kind of place the exhausts well under the rear bumper so that they're out of the way.
It's hidden.
Yeah, it gives you a good departure angle, obviously. And here's a good look at all of the skid plates, quite a few. And now, Andre, we have seen the truck. Let me ask you a couple of questions, all right?
Yes.
So how does this compare to the Zr2 Silverado?
So
Bison, right, which is also coming.
Oh, I have a teaser of that.
You do? We have a Bison picture?
Yeah. So let me take a look here. So this is what Chevrolet teased. By the way, which is why we were surprised, Roman, that I expected this truck to arrive first, and it's not the case. So this is what they teased. Look, AEV, once again, bumper. This is as light as we can make this image. So I would bet the Zr2 Bison would have the same bumpers, the same skid plates, but we're not sure.
How about under the hood? Now the Zr2 has the 6.2 liter Chevy's now ubiquitous big boy V8.
Yes.
Puts out 420 horsepower, 460 pound-foot of torque. Same thing in the GMC.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I was talking to Case, another colleague of ours, and he said, "Is the diesel going to be available?"
Yeah, the 3 liter.
Yeah, and the answer right now is no.
Wow.
And I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it has to do with payload and towing. We can discuss that also. But right now, the Zr2 Silverado only V8, which is a good engine. AT4X only V8. This AEV only V8.
All right, so let's talk numbers, Andre. When is it coming?
They said later in the 2023 model year.
Right.
2023 model year hasn't quite started yet.
So it could be sometime fall of this year.
Late this year,
yeah.
Maybe even a little bit earlier next year. So they didn't specify calendar timing, they specified model year timing.
Okay, so they're leaving themselves a little bit of wiggle room.
Yes, and also there is no price, like you said.
Well, we can take a guess, can't we? Let's do a little bit of guessing here. So what is the differential?
Yes.
As in locking, though.
By the way,
it does have locking front and rear diff.
Yes, it does.
What is the price difference when you go from a Zr2 to the GMC version?
So it's
how much more are you paying?
Substantial. It's almost $8,000. So when you take a comparable Zr2 and you go to the AT4X, there's almost like $7,000 to $8,000 between them.
So right now an AT4X is
like high 70s.
High 70s because it's a Zr270.
Yes.
Now you put this package on top of it, and you're probably looking at what, another 5 to 10K?
I would say close to 5.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm saying 5 is because Colorado Bison is about $5,000.
Okay, so now you're into the 80s.
Yeah, you are.
Wow.
So you're looking at, I would say, mid 80s
for the AEV AT4X. Wow, that is a lot of A's.
Sierra AT4X
AEV.
But Roman, you and I both drove the truck.
Yes.
My impression when I also drove it in California at the first event, I loved, the powertrain is great, the suspension is great. I felt like the lockers helped a lot, right? Everything was good except the clearances. I felt like the nose was too low, right? And just the clearances were, and they fixed it. I mean, the nose now has about 32 degrees of approach, which is a great number. It has better breakover, it has better departure angles, and taller tires.
You know what would fix it even more?
What?
Even taller tires.
35s!
I hate harping on that. Why do you think GM does, there is definitely a tire war going on, right?
Yes.
And Ram with the TRX and now Ford with the Raptor, are leading the charge to bigger and better tires. Why do you think GM is still sticking to their guns and doing these smaller tires? Do you think it's because of CAFE standards? Because obviously every time you go up an inch or two, you lose fuel economy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
and then it's people who have lifted these because of the kind of the square wheel wells and because of the way the top of the suspension is. Mm-hmm. It's hard to actually put a bigger tire on this.
Totally, because we were considering this. Yeah. We wanted to put 35s. But you really cannot without rubbing, right? So why is this? Well, here's one reason, Roman. Look at the spare, which looks to be the same.
Perfectly, yeah.
It fits perfectly, but there's not much space left over. I mean, if you look around it. So they might have to redesign the frame to fit the spare. You know what Hummer does? They put the spare right in the bed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's a
little, so you're losing bed space.
It's a little Baja-y, but a little unpractical. 2 other numbers we should discuss.
Yes.
Payload and towing.
Yes, so the payload is almost 1,300 pounds, about 1,290. Which okay,
yeah,
it's Raptor numbers actually.
Yeah, we just did a video on the new Amarok, which has a higher payload.
Well, that's a different thing, dude. That's like European and like
Yeah, but there's a smaller
Asian,
truck.
Asian stuff.
Okay, and how about towing?
8,700 pounds.
So you lose a little bit. The ZR2 is 89.
Yeah, so you're losing. I think these bumpers are heavier. You know, the bumpers add some weight. They still, even though they're thin.
So you're losing payload, so you're losing towing.
Yeah, you're losing a little bit of that because your gross combined weight rating is still the same. So it's just kind of how it works.
You know what the great thing about this, Andre, is that GM is finally getting into the fight. You know, I think for the longest time, if you were a fan of the Silverado or if you were a fan of the Sierra, you felt like you were, left out of the fun. And now GM is like not, doubling down, but like tripling down on off-road worthy trucks. So yes. I'm super happy to see this. Tommy made an interesting point. He said that all it needs, right? And I absolutely agree. And let us know in the comments below if you agree. All it needs is what engine? Come on, you know what engine goes under there. You just drove it in the Cadillac Escalade.
A supercharged engine? Escalade V?
Yes.
Yes.
Throw that in that, and you got yourself like the ultimate GM. I'm sure you've thought of it. But come on, just put it in there. Oh my God, would you have, an incredible truck?
The engine is ready. I mean, it's built.
Yeah, it's in the Escalade. Yes. Throw it in the Silverado. It's a full size truck. It'll fit.
Well, it's the same chassis.
Yeah.
The Escalade is using the same front.
Yeah, exactly. And then me and you are going to go take the TRX,
the Raptor R. That's coming, and of course the new what do we call it? You have to add some more letters to it. Wait, so AT4X
I know.
AEV plus. No,
how about Super X?
Super X,
yeah.
Double XL?
Anyway, let us know what you think. Are we onto something? And let us know what you think of the new truck. I'm pretty excited, dude, because the truck wars are hot, and it's great to see GM getting into the off-road world. Because look, let's face it.
And this on a GMC pickup.
Yeah,
this is good. The winch is great.
Yeah, the winch is great, and the problem with always a winch is they're heavy, right? Mm-hmm. A winch weighs like 100 pounds, so if you want to do a winch yourself, not only do you have to get a bumper, but you probably have to get a leveling kit.
Mounts and leveling kit.
Yeah.
And this truck is already sitting nice.
I know.
Right?
So you've got basically from the factory, and plus you probably already have a nicely integrated winch controller along with the switch. Love it, love it, love it. Love the red. Good job, GMC.
There you have it.